This is News 8 Now, this morning.
And this is an active investigation, so I can't get into all of that. But what I can say is we are fairly confident that we do have the person who was responsible for murdering the victim in custody.
They should have a carbon monoxide detector on every floor level in the home, especially if they got gas-fired appliances.
It's a great opportunity for people that want to volunteer and help their fellow man. We provide that space here, and that's what the American Legion is all about, is providing for veterans and their communities.
And that was your eye-opener. Good morning, everybody, and thanks for watching News 8 Now this morning. I'm Ken Kozarowski. That's Derek Sibley. It is Monday, December 26th, 2022. Hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas holiday weekend. I know I did. It was with my wife's family over the weekend. I actually had to drive back, and so I missed one of the family parties yesterday afternoon, but I was listening to the Packer game while I was driving back, you know, I just felt the joy.
Oh, I'm sure you did. I felt the sorrow.
And you know what, everybody, of course, you all know if you're watching the morning show that we have a little bet between Dolphins fan Derek and Packers fan myself. Now, obviously, he's not wearing green and gold yet, everybody. Trust me, we got a doozy of an outfit wardrobe change for him. But I'll just tease what's coming.
Yeah.
This is definitely going to play a little bit of a role in Derek's wardrobe.
Oh, no, that's going to scar me. Oh, my gosh. I can't believe I have to do that.
Oh,
But
you're a
bet
good
it's
sport,
bet,
though.
So I have to do it.
That's right. That's right.
Anyway, but hey, Ken, we got some snow here to talk about this morning, so let's get right to it. Don't worry, this is nowhere near La Crosse, but this is actually here mainly focused to the south, especially down towards our southern zones where we're tracking here. Some light to moderate snow coming down for portions of Prairie du Chien and also into portions of Crawford County, but really we can say this is very, very light snow that is falling down to the south. By the way, we did have winter weather advisories for Winnebago County. That has been allowed to expire. City Cam 8 looking quiet here in downtown La Crosse. Temperatures are into the single digits. 6 degrees now, Black River Falls. It's currently 8 in La Crosse, 9 in Winona. 6 is the temperature currently in Sparta. And when you factor in the winds, it makes it feel like it's 5 below currently in La Crosse and a feel-like temperature of 2 below in Eau Claire this morning. All right, so for a check on your planner for the rest of the morning, well, partly to mostly cloudy here is what we'll call it through the at least 11 o'clock hour. And then some parts of the area may turn partly to mostly cloudy here around 1, especially around 3 o'clock, where some spots may turn cloudy. Looking at temperatures well into the teens here today, making yet another cold one, Ken, at least to start the work week.
All right, just can't shake it. All right, thanks, Derek. Let's get to some news on this Monday morning. New details about a deadly shooting that took place at the Mall of America. A 19-year-old man died Friday after gunfire erupted inside the mall. It's the first deadly shooting in the mall's history. Police say they believe they have the person or persons responsible in custody.
And this is an active investigation, so I can't get into all of that. But what I can say is we are fairly confident that we do have the person who was responsible for murdering the victim in custody.
Investigators say one of the men in custody is believed to be the gunman, but it's possible more than one shooter was involved. They say the people in custody are not cooperating with authorities. A Wisconsin State Patrol trooper has non-life-threatening injuries after a pickup truck lost control and struck the trooper's cruiser. The crash happened shortly after midnight on Saturday along I-90-94 in Juneau County near Wisconsin Dells. The trooper's cruiser was parked alongside the road while the trooper was helping another driver, and the pickup truck lost control, crashed right into the trooper's vehicle. Now, the pickup driver was not harmed. The Wisconsin State Patrol is reminding people to drive slowly during severe winter weather. In Minnesota, countless people are either making a trip to the body shop or trying to slow their heart rate after they either crashed or spun out on the road over the weekend. Many of those crashes were caught on traffic cameras. Adam Duxter talked to a man who's working to use that footage to help improve road safety.
This week, MnDOT's cameras have captured more than 1,500 slips, slides, and snow-slickened crashes. And perhaps no one is watching those cameras.
Garbage truck, totally out of control.
As close as Alex Smith,
Metro 920.
who has turned part of his New Brighton home
I'll head down that way.
into a room dedicated to tracking
Our system detected at least 655 crashes.
and detailing wrecks on the roads and more.
It is a part-time job. It's a passion project. But on a week like today, it really turns into something full-time.
Smith posts clips like these.
It's a great example of making a bad situation worse.
To an online safety account he and others created.
And it's been so busy that our system has struggled under the load as yesterday, for example, there was more than 1 crash per minute in the early afternoon being called into that State Patrol 911 center.
Almost 900 crashes since Wednesday, says Minnesota State Patrol. Nearly another 900 spin out. About 80 people in all have been hurt.
Yeah, all of the challenges we were expecting with the storm really did happen.
And MnDOT says we're not out of it either. Blowing in drifting snow, closing Highway 90 in southwest Minnesota once again today.
It's very dicey out there. We don't want to create new emergencies with folks, spinning off the road or having any issues.
Smith says his goal, spread awareness of what and what not to do.
That's a concrete wall that they kind of got pushed into.
Like if you spin out, don't get out of your car. He hopes crash compilations like these won't just grab your attention, but impact your intentions behind the wheel.
Florida has hurricanes. California has wildfires. And if you've come to Minnesota, we just have to learn to realize that slick roads are something that we deal with.
And the Minnesota Department of Transportation says it has crews working around the clock over holiday weekends to try and get roads reopened as soon as possible. Turning now to America's labor crisis, nearly every industry has dealt with staffing shortages since the start of the pandemic, but few can mean the difference between life and death like that of an EMT. Carter Evans takes a look at this growing health emergency.
Are you still 6 out of 10 pain?
Denise Farnsworth loves her job as an EMT.
It's what I live to do.
But after 7 years on the job, she can no longer afford to keep doing it.
What is your base hourly rate?
18.
$18 an hour?
Yes. To pay the bills, we have to work as much as we can.
Farnsworth actually makes slightly more than the national median wage for EMTs. The Bureau of Labor Statistics lists it as one of the lowest paying jobs in healthcare. That's the primary reason roughly a third of all EMTs quit in 2021. And the industry is having a hard time replacing them. A 2022 study found that 39% of part-time EMT and 55% of part-time paramedic positions went unfilled because of a lack of qualified candidates.
It's an absolute crisis. We have continual paramedics hitting the exit doors and leaving the field.
American Ambulance Association President Sean Bayard says Medicaid's reimbursement for non-emergency transports, like moving a patient between hospitals or taking someone to dialysis, keeps wages low.
It can mean the difference of having an ambulance or not having an ambulance.
AMR, the nation's largest private ambulance provider, is ending non-emergency transport in Los Angeles County. They cite low Medicaid reimbursement as a major reason for a $3.5 million budget deficit in that market alone.
It's unsustainable.
To keep from losing employees like Denise, their manager Brian Napoli says a raise is in the works, but the company can't afford it long term. And if Medicaid reimbursements don't increase, they may also have to stop non-emergency response.
How much does it cost you to make a run on average?
Over $250.
And how much do you get back?
$107 in the base rate.
A losing proposition. Next month, a California law goes into effect that can require a $22 an hour minimum wage for fast food workers. There is no mandated pay for EMTs.
Why is it that we can't get movement for the people that are serving our communities at their most vulnerable moments?
Leaving Denise Farnsworth at a crossroads.
I don't want to leave. I don't know what else I would want to do.
For Eye on America, Carter Evans, Los Angeles.
That's a great story by Carter. Moving closer to home now, members of the La Crosse community got to enjoy a Christmas dinner for the 29th year thanks to the Sparta American Legion. Open to everyone, the dinner helps residents share in the holiday cheer and spread the message of goodwill throughout the community. The dinner was originally intended for people who were unable to leave their homes. The post commander says the dinner is a great opportunity to give back to people who may be alone for the holidays.
And it's a great opportunity for people that want to volunteer and help their fellow man. We provide that space here, and that's what the American Legion is all about, is providing for veterans and their communities.
Current and former members of the military are welcome to join the American Legion, as well as make a donation on the Legion's website. We posted that link to our website, news8000.com. North Presbyterian Church had their annual Seven Rivers Community Holiday Dinner over the weekend as well. Over 100 dinners were served on Christmas Day, absolutely free of charge, as Northside residents got to enjoy spending some time together. The meal also included a visit from Santa himself as he helped spread some holiday cheer and donated gifts to children in need. According to organizers, they hope there will be plenty more holiday dinners in the future.
We just enjoy the fact that we get to spend the holidays with other people, and we want people to come down here and spend it with us.
And they're looking forward to even more in the foreseeable future. Time is now 6:09 a.m. on this Monday morning. Still ahead on your morning news, President Biden will sign a bill that avoids a partial government shutdown. We'll share what's in that bill. And before you go to return your holiday gifts, know that some retailers may have changed their return and exchange rules. We'll dive into that as well. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Officers in South Bend, Indiana helped save one family's Christmas this weekend. Units responded to a breaking and entering call on Saturday morning where burglars had stolen all the children's Christmas gifts. Well, police reached out to the organizers of the local Santa's Elficers program who had leftover toys from a recent toy drive. And they replaced all those stolen gifts to the delight of those kids. And the officers also brought some food for the family to enjoy on the holiday. Can't imagine the stress and anxiety something like that goes through that family, but definitely a wonderful gesture right there by the community members and those officers. And the police department posted afterward on social media, quote, "The Grinch was no match for the Elficers team." Don't go anywhere. More News 8 Now this morning is coming right up after the break.
A few scattered snow showers here still continue to affect portions of the viewing area, mainly down towards the south, where we're looking at some light scattered snow showers that continue to work their way to the south here as we speak, with current temperature readings well into the single digits here this morning. 9 degrees in Winona and 8 degrees in La Crosse. Now with feel-like temperatures at -5 in La Crosse and a feel-like temperature of 2 below zero currently in Eau Claire this morning. Let's get checked now on your zone forecast, though. La Crosse County, starting with you first. High temperatures today rising into the mid-teens, looking at a high of 16 in Onalaska and 14 today in Holmen, looking at 15 today in Soldiers Grove and 12 this afternoon in Westby. Your high will be 14 if you're in Stoddard. Meanwhile, it'll be 13 in Arcadia today and 15 in Sparta, 13 today in Blair. Highs looking at the mid-teens here, with Eau Claire looking at a high of roughly around 11 degrees. As far as that schoolcast goes this morning, you're looking at 8 degrees here at the bus stop and then only 10 degrees for the lunch hour. We may see some clouds, but this afternoon temperatures will be right around 13 degrees here around dismissal time. Stay tuned. I'll be back with a check on your full weather forecast in just a bit.
Switch the prompter, please. President Biden is set to sign a nearly $2 trillion spending bill into law after Congress avoided a potential partial government shutdown by passing the measure last Friday. The massive package includes more than $700 billion for discretionary spending like health care, education, and transportation programs. There's also $850 billion for defense and more than $40 billion going to Ukraine aid. The IRS is delaying a controversial rule that would have required gig workers and online sellers who receive payments of more than $600 via Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo to fill out a 1099-K tax form. The requirement is being pushed back 1 year after e-commerce platforms said it creates confusion. Some lawmakers also expressed concerns that the rule could ensnare people transferring funds to family and friends. If you're expecting to hit the stores this post-Christmas week, you will not be alone. A National Retail Federation survey found that 70% of consumers plan to shop, and the top reason given is to take advantage of those after-holiday sales. That's followed by those who want to use the gift cards they received under the tree. 18% of shoppers say they plan to return some unwanted gift items. Speaking of after a day of giving, now comes the great gift return. But this year there are some more hurdles. A recent survey found 6 in 10 retailers have changed their return policies. Nancy Chen has more.
With the holiday shopping season underway, 'tis the season also for surprises, including a crackdown on online returns. The cost to return an item by mail at Zara, now $3.95. For J. Crew, it's $7.50. And for Dillard's, that return shipping cost will set you back almost $10. They're all part of a growing list of retailers charging return fees, typically in the range of $3 to $10 to send back purchases.
I hate it as someone who likes to shop and return things often.
Mevesh Wasi shops almost entirely online and was recently hit with return fees after ordering multiple pairs of pants.
I haven't been able to find a pair of pants that actually fits me. I needed to try on a lot of things, and for certain stores, I did have to eat that $5 cost.
A fee some experts say shoppers should get used to, with labor and shipping costs up and retailers dealing with excess inventory this year. And all those returns add up. According to the National Retail Federation, $102 billion worth of online orders were returned in 2020. That number more than doubled to $218 billion last year.
About 40% of our merchants are charging for refunds, and that's up. It's nearly doubled in the last 12 months.
Jonathan Poma is the CEO of Loop, a company helping more than 1,500 retailers save on return costs.
This is actually a big problem for retailers.
When you start to stack these costs, free shipping on the outbound order, free shipping on the return, maybe a customer acquisition cost of $50, and you're out almost twice the cost of the return.
And with as many as 50,000 brick and mortar stores projected to close over the next 5 years, the trend towards return fees isn't going away anytime soon.
I think return fees just help us see a little bit behind that curtain by making us pause and think about our purchasing decisions and whether we are being wasteful or not.
Turning a page in how we buy and return. Nancy Chen, CBS News, New York.
Well, it sure is a pretty cold start this morning. We're also watching a few light snow showers here across the area. These are mainly focused down to the south. We're seeing some light scattered snow showers moving around portions of our southern zones this morning. City Cam 8 off to a quiet start, as you can see here from behind me from downtown La Crosse, and we're at 8 degrees. That's why we said we're off to a cold start out there with a feel like temperature of -5 when you factor in north winds at around 9 miles an hour here for us to work with this morning. Meanwhile, in Eau Claire, looking pretty similar to that. In fact, 7 degrees is your temperature. A feel like of -2 from a north wind at around 5 miles an hour here. Temperatures to the west in Winona, 9 degrees. Black River Falls to the east at 6 degrees. Sparta's at 6 as well. Viroqua, same story. Bosque Bell currently at 13. Prairie du Chien is at 12. And feel like temperatures, thanks to the wind chill effects, -5 as we saw from Eau Claire. Feels like 0 degrees though in Sparta. And we got a wind chill of -9 degrees currently in Viroqua. A few clouds here around this morning. Partly cloudy noon today, 10 degrees. And then cloudy skies kind of move in for some parts of the area, 11 degrees. Same story here around 8 o'clock, except temperatures drop into the single digits. Highs today warming up into the mid-teens this afternoon. So another cold start, but check this out here over the next 8 days. We're going to start to warm up at least into the upper 30s to low 40s by midweek, and that trend will continue as we head into this weekend and possibly even into early next week. And the reason being is because we do expect some changes in our wind direction being one of the main factors here as we take you into tomorrow. So let's do that. You can see here as we head into tonight into tomorrow. Notice that south wind here taking shape here, and it looks like that trend is going to continue through much of the day tomorrow, as a matter of fact. And as a result of that south wind, despite some of those clouds kind of moving around the area, look at the temperatures here, warming up into the 20s. And we're not done warming up yet. As you can see here on the 8-day forecast, that south wind is going to be in place throughout the week. That should bump us up into the 40s here as we head into midweek Wednesday and Thursday, despite the cloud cover there. And then upper 30s to low 40s as we round out this work week and taking you into the weekend, looking at highs into the upper 30s just in time for the New Year's Day holiday, the high of 38 on Sunday as we welcome in 2023. Looking at a chance of rain and snow mixing together as we head into early next week on Monday, so something to watch out for as our next system will move in. Notice the low temperatures too, also warming up into the 20s and 30s here as we head towards midweek, and that trend should also last us throughout the rest of the week and also heading into next week. So kind of getting a little bit back to normal there, despite the mild high temperatures that we're expecting starting the middle of the week. Stay tuned though, much more news and weather is still to come here on News 8 Now this morning, but for now we are sending you to break with a look at what happened on this day in history for December 26th. Stay with us, we'll be right back. We continue to watch a few light snow showers come down, but it's mainly focused along our southern zones here this morning, right in the vicinity of around the Prairie du Chien area and also into Richland County, looking at a few light snow showers and flurries here coming down across your area with current temperature readings well into the single digits here this morning. So you got to check down your dog walking conditions out there for the morning. A few clouds making it mainly cloudy. For the afternoon, partly cloudy skies. Some of us may stay cloudy though as we head into the evening hours. Stay tuned though. I'll be back with another check on the forecast plus your commute forecast. That's coming up a little bit later.
Welcome to the Blitz. Well, about a month ago, the Packers fell to the Eagles on Thanksgiving weekend, dropping their records of 4-8 on the season. Most Packers fans would have said this team needs a Christmas miracle if they want to make the playoffs. Well, fast forward about a month, Green Bay hasn't lost since, and this Packers team still very much alive in the playoff hunt. But Green Bay needing a win in Miami to keep its hopes alive. Pick it up in the first, game tied at 3. Tua Tagovailoa drops back, looks middle, finds Jalen Waddle on a crosser. This is going to be trouble. Waddle's got blockers, avoids a tackle, and he can fly 84 yards to the house. Dolphins take a 10-3 lead. 5 minutes later, Packers punch right back. Aaron Rodgers fakes the handoff. He's got Mercedes Lewis wide open in the end zone for the touchdown. Fun first quarter in Miami. We're tied at 10. Second quarter now, Dolphins on the move. Tua avoids pressure here, steps up in the pocket, launches one deep, and he's got Tyreek Hill waiting for it inside the 5, down to the 1, and then on the very next play, Jeff Wilson's gonna punch it in for 6. Miami jumps back in front, 17-10. Let's go to the third now. Green Bay still down 7, looking to get back in it. Pocket collapses. Rodgers avoids the sack, tosses it deep down the sideline. It's Lewis again, this time a phenomenal grab down inside the 10. Big play for the Pack, and that would lead to this. Down at the goal line, A.J. Dillon gets the rock, and he punches it in for the score just like that. We're all tied up again. It's 20-20. To the fourth we go. Packers looking to take the lead here. Rodgers on the roll, looking downfield, lets it fly for Allen Lazard, but it's picked off in the end zone. Dolphins would take over. Very next play, though, Miami gives it right back. Tua fakes the handoff, sails this one high, right into the arms of Jair Alexander. He's going to take it down inside the 15. Defense stepping up big for the Pack. Mason Crosby on from 28, and for the first time, the Packers have the lead. It's 23-20. 6 minutes to go now. Same score. Tua does it again. This time it's Devondre Campbell reading it perfectly. Second drive in a row. The Packers D comes up with a turnover. They tack on 3 more to take a 26-20 lead. So now with less than 2 to go, Green Bay defense looking for another stop, and they're gonna get it. Rasul Douglas is there for the interception. Third straight drive, the Green Bay defense comes up with the pick, and that one seals it. The Packers are not done yet. They win it 26-20, third straight win, and their playoff hopes are still very much alive. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Welcome back. The Taliban is warning U.S. officials against interfering in what they're calling Afghanistan's, quote, internal issues. A tweet from a Taliban spokesperson said no one will be allowed to speak out under the title of humanitarian aid. It comes after the Taliban ordered all local and international non-governmental organizations to stop female employees from coming to work. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken called the order, quote, profoundly irresponsible. Diplomatic tensions between Peru and Mexico continue to rise. It comes after the president of Mexico granted asylum to the family of ousted Peruvian President Pedro Castillo. However, Castillo himself was detained by Peruvian authorities before he was able to reach the Mexican embassy building in Lima. He faces charges of rebellion and conspiracy. Peru's new government is furious of Mexico's president's public support of the former president, going as far as ordering the Mexican ambassador to Peru to leave the country and declaring him persona non grata. Same-sex couples in China are making their love official in the United States, all from the comfort of their homes. This Disney-loving couple, Yi Yang and Johnny Ni, shared this first selfie kiss with masks on almost 3 years ago. As a gay couple living in China, getting married hasn't always been an option until now, all thanks to a Utah county from across the ocean offering virtual ceremonies due to the pandemic. Most people in Ukraine are spending the holidays in the cold and the dark. Russia has offered no repose for the season, but Ukrainians have found ways to celebrate Christmas, as Amy Kiley reports.
Only a few days of this year left. We must be aware that our enemy will try to make this time dark and difficult for us.
Ukrainians are finding moments of holiday peace amid Russia's relentless war.
No kamikaze drones are capable of extinguishing the Christmas dawn.
The largest religion of Ukraine and Russia is Orthodox Christianity. It'll mark Christmas on January 7th, but today is also a public Christmas holiday in Ukraine, and many Ukrainians celebrated yesterday. These soldiers sat down for a meal together, and in Kyiv, Russia's infrastructure attacks didn't stop the lighting of the capital Christmas tree. This year it runs on a generator and has energy-saving bulbs.
We will fill our hearts with warmth and light.
But Russia isn't backing down for the holiday season. Its military struck different parts of Ukraine over the weekend. Most people there are spending the Christmas season in the cold and dark. Many are cut off from loved ones with few ways to communicate. But that doesn't mean they've lost hope.
I know that darkness will not prevent us from bringing the invaders to their new defeats.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
In the meantime, Pope Francis dedicated his annual Christmas Day speech to what he called the icy winds of war. He made a plea for an immediate end to Russia's war in Ukraine. The Pope called the 10-month-old conflict senseless. He urged people to remember millions of Ukrainians without electricity or heating and refugees who fled the country after Russia invaded last February. As temperatures start to drop, people start to seal off their homes and fire up those furnaces and fireplaces to fight off below-zero temperatures. That's not always safe to do, as carbon monoxide can build up and cause safety and health concerns. One area assistant fire chief says carbon monoxide detectors can save your life.
They should have a carbon monoxide detector on every floor level in the home, especially if they got gas-fired appliances.
He says gas and wood fireplaces and ash disposal are also a concern, as well as warming up your car in a closed garage. On average, about 500 Wisconsinites are sent to the emergency room with these every year. A growing number of people are becoming sober curious, meaning they want to try sobriety. But in this season of holiday parties, family get-togethers, and events, it may be harder to say no to a cocktail. Mandy Gaither has tips from a psychiatrist on how to have a happy, healthy, and sober holiday season.
You don't need spirits to get into the holiday spirit, especially if you're already feeling blue this season.
We know that alcohol, as a central nervous system depressant, can actually make that worse.
If you need help staying alcohol-free over the holidays, focus on why it's important to you, says Dr. Trent Hall with Ohio State's Wexner Medical Center.
Sometimes it can be helpful to actually write that down in the form of a list and to carry that with you to holiday celebration.
If you're going to a party or get-together, Hall says to invite a sober friend to enjoy the night with you. Bring your own alcohol-free beverages to help keep you on track.
You might also find yourself watching other people around you who are drinking alcohol. And sometimes, unfortunately, their behavior can remind us of why we chose not to drink in the first place.
Hall says to think of the next morning, how good you'll feel avoiding a hangover, and celebrate your success working toward being healthier. Avoiding cocktail calories is another benefit of staying sober.
If you're sober curious, that having a merry, alcohol-free holiday leads right in to a happy, healthy new year.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
If you tend to drink in stressful situations over the holidays, you may also think of having an escape plan, a way to get away from that added stress if need be. A former Governor Scott Walker appointee has finally announced he is resigning. The Associated Press reports that Fred Prehn of the Wisconsin DNR Policy Board has officially sent Governor Evers his resignation letter. Prehn intends to resign this Friday. He previously refused to step down after his term ended nearly 2 years ago. Evers has been trying to appoint Prehn's replacement during those 2 years, but the board kept Prehn on. Prehn had also won a lawsuit seeking to oust him from that board after his term ended officially in May of 2021. Meanwhile, Governor Evers and Republican Assembly Speaker Robin Vos met in person for the first time in 2 years last week. Both sides are talking more about trying to work together in the coming legislative session. Evers and Vos met privately at the governor's residence for about an hour, and it was a positive sign, and Vos called it a good first step. A spokesperson for Evers also called it a good meeting. Evers also met with Senate Majority Leader Devin LeMahieu. A major winter storm system turned deadly as it brought freezing temperatures and dangerous conditions to millions of Americans over the weekend. Meanwhile, thousands of flight disruptions stranded some travelers at airports for the holidays. CBS News' Jared Hill has the latest from New York.
Even the snowplows in Buffalo, New York needed a rescue as the dig-out continues from a massive winter storm that the state's governor says has been nothing short of a battle.
We are in a war. This is a war with Mother Nature.
Hundreds of thousands of Americans experienced power outages at some point over the weekend, from Maine to Washington state, where there were also reports of possible vandalism at multiple substations in Graham.
If I had to talk to those people, I'd just say, come on, it's Christmas. Why are you going to do that to people?
The frigid temperatures also caused major disruptions across the South. Burst water pipes brought a wet Christmas for Georgia repair crews and led to a boil water advisory in parts of Mississippi.
We're getting ready to order DoorDash because we can't cook, we can't wash our dishes, can't do any of that to be able to even have a small feast.
In El Paso, Texas, public buses were provided to give migrants a warm alternative to sleeping on the streets.
They allowed us to get inside the bus and stay warm throughout the night, and a lot of people went inside the bus because it was too cold.
Travel nightmares also continued throughout the weekend at the nation's airports.
I got a text saying that I was rebooked. When I tried to change it, it said that I needed to call the maintenance line or whatever, and they actually didn't answer.
More than 9,000 flights were canceled or delayed in the U.S. on Christmas Day, according to FlightAware. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
And a survey conducted by the online travel website The Vacationer shows that today and tomorrow are expected to be the busiest or worst days to fly after the holiday. The website says Wednesday or Thursday are the best days for air travelers to book those flights.
A few light snow showers continue, but it's mainly focused along our southern zones this morning, and a lot of these now are just turning into some weak snow flurries that continue to move across portions of our southern viewing spots. Temperatures are currently into the single digits with 8 degrees now in La Crosse. Highs today warming up to 16. Mostly cloudy skies. It's still a very cold day. North-northwest winds at 5 to 10. For tonight, we drop down to 2 degrees. Partly cloudy skies. Still very cold with northwest or southwest winds, I should say, at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. So for your drive cast out there this morning, again, mainly cloudy, and it looks like we start to see a bit of a break in the clouds sometime around the lunch hour. Partly cloudy skies there. And then a few more clouds develop, making it a little bit cloudy here as we take you into the evening hours, at least in some spots around the Coulee region. But stay tuned, though. I'll have a final check that is on your full weather forecast that's coming up next in weather. Ken?
Thanks very much, Derek. Time is now 6:40 a.m. In your morning buzz report still to come, Chris Rock teasing his first comedy special since that Oscars slap. We'll dive in after the break.
Well, we continue to track a few light snow flurries moving across the area, but these are mainly focused along our south zones here, right around the Prairie du Chien area in Crawford County, as well as into portions of Richland County here too. Even portions of northeast Iowa still looking at some very light snow, where earlier in Winnebago County we did have winter weather advisories. Those since have been allowed to expire. City Cam 8 here in downtown La Crosse, things are definitely looking nice and quiet here, but very cold though. 8 degrees with cloudy skies overhead. A feel-like temperature of -5 degrees thanks to a north wind around 9 miles an hour. Meanwhile, conditions in Eau Claire look very similar to La Crosse. 7 degrees, very cold there. -2 for a feel-like temperature thanks to that north wind as well at around 5 miles an hour. Conditions to the west in Winona, you're currently at 9 degrees. Black River Falls is at 7. Sparta at 7 degrees here as well. Viroqua not too far from that at 6. Boscobel 13. Prairie du Chien down in the south at 12 degrees. We have some of those snow flurries down there. Wind chill advisories, or wind chill as I should say, definitely no wind chill advisories luckily, but wind chill factors though I should say below 0 in many spots. -5 in La Crosse, -2 currently in Sparta, and a -7 feel-like temperature in Viroqua. Off and on cloud cover here between around 7 and noon, and then some of us turning cloudy around 4 o'clock. Temperatures at 11 degrees. 2 degrees will be the temperature at around 8 p.m. this evening. High temperatures today warming up into the mid-teens. Looking at a high of 16 in La Crosse today and a high of 11 in Eau Claire. Temperatures reaching 15 this afternoon in Sparta for the high temperature for you. Now, over the next 8 days, we are expecting a warm-up trend. So yes, we're going to get out of this Arctic air mass after today as our temperatures climb, look at that, into the 40s by midweek, and we at least stay into the upper 30s as we head into the weekend and also into early next week here, at least looking at the mid-30s by Tuesday. And there's a good reason for that, but I do want to take you into Sky Tracker, showing you, at least for now, some of those those clouds here throughout the morning, and then maybe a few more clouds sneaking in as we head towards the late afternoon hours here today with those highs into the mid-teens. Looking at temperatures dropping into the single digits as we head into this evening. And notice the cloud cover here still increasing across the area. And then as we head into tonight, most of the clouds here remaining off to the north. More clouds kind of moving in by tomorrow morning again from the northwest. Look at the south winds, though. That's the reason why we are going to be warming up starting tomorrow, because of that south wind dragging in some warmer air for us to work with, while the majority of the cloud cover should stay mainly to the north throughout the day tomorrow. But a few clouds, though, could make things mostly cloudy for some of us during the afternoon tomorrow. Again, that high of 28. A few more clouds here Wednesday and Thursday. Temperatures, though, very mild into the low to mid 40s here. That should last us into Friday, and then we will be kicking off the new year with highs pretty mild into the upper 30s. A chance of rain, snow is possible as we head into early next week on Monday.
In our Buzz Report this morning, let's hover on some entertainment options you might want on your radar. First, get ready for more Chris Rock. The comedian will take the stage for Selective Outrage, the first live event to ever be streamed on Netflix. The comedy special marks Rock's first since getting slapped by Will Smith at the Oscars. It'll premiere on March 4th.
They're doing this? She's throwing it to Michelle. Michelle catches the flowers. You get married next. Your life's all set.
Well, a young couple decides to tie the knot, but the real drama lies with the in-laws in the romantic comedy Maybe I Do. Richard Gere and Diane Keaton star as parents of the bride. Susan Sarandon and William H. Macy play the groom's parents. What nobody realizes is that the in-laws all know each other way too intimately. Maybe I Do releases in theaters nationwide on January 27th. Director Greta Gerwig pays homage to Stanley Kubrick with the teaser for the film Barbie, showing Barbie, played by Margot Robbie, descending to Earth as little girls turn against their baby dolls. Fans also get a glimpse into Barbie's dream world, featuring Ryan Gosling as Ken, along with Issa Rae and Simu Liu. Barbie premiering in theaters next summer. Time is now 6:47 on this Monday. Let's head to break with today's Look Who's 8, Derek.
That's right, Ken. We got a handful to celebrate today. Our first one is to Lily. What a picture there. She is turning 8 months, and she is full of smiles and giggles.
Happy 8th birthday to Marty. Marty is a social girl who loves all animals and is always wanting to help anyone in need.
Happy 8th birthday to Ella. Ella loves fishing, camping, and exploring. She wants to be a teacher when she grows up.
Awesome. And a happy 80th birthday to Judith. Judith loves to spend time with her family and go on adventures.
Well, if you know a special someone turning 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old soon, we'd love to feature them.
Absolutely. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com. You're looking for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website. Stay with us. We have everything you need to know today in 5 minutes or less. Your Morning News Now is coming up next. And then slide it up. Time for your Morning News Now. New details about a deadly shooting that took place in Friday at the Mall of America in Bloomington. A 19-year-old man died after gunfire erupted inside that mall. It is the first deadly shooting in the mall's history. Police say they believe they have the person or persons responsible in custody, but they are not cooperating with authorities. Meanwhile, a Wisconsin State Patrol trooper has non-life-threatening injuries after a pickup truck lost control and struck the trooper's cruiser. You see the damage there. The crash happened shortly after midnight on Saturday along I-90-94 in Juneau County near Wisconsin Dells. The trooper's cruiser was parked alongside the road while the trooper was actually helping another driver. The pickup truck lost control and crashed into the trooper's vehicle. The pickup driver was not harmed. Wisconsin State Patrol is reminding people to drive slowly during the severe winter weather. And as temperatures start to drop, people are starting to seal off their homes and fire up those furnaces and fireplaces to fight off below zero temps. But that's not always safe to do, as carbon monoxide can build up and cause some safety and health concerns. One area assistant fire chief says carbon monoxide detectors can save your life. They say carbon monoxide odorless, and you need to depend on those detectors.
They should have a carbon monoxide detector on every floor level in the home, especially if they got gas-fired appliances.
Sullivan says gas and wood fireplaces and ash disposal are also a concern, as well as warming up your car in a closed garage. You don't want to do that. On average, about 500 Wisconsinites get sent to the emergency room with incidents related to that each year. If you're expecting to hit the stores this post-Christmas week, You won't be alone. A National Retail Federation survey found that 70% of consumers plan to shop. And the top reason given is to take advantage of those after-holiday sales. That's followed by those who want to use the gift cards they just received under the tree. 18% of shoppers, meanwhile, say that they want to return some unwanted gift items. In La Crosse, members of the community got to enjoy a Christmas dinner for the 29th year thanks to the Sparta American Legion. Absolutely open to everyone, the dinner helps residents share in the holiday cheer and spread the message of goodwill throughout the community. Now, the dinner was originally intended for people who were unable to leave their homes. According to the post commander, the dinner is a great opportunity to give back to people who may be alone for the holidays.
It's a great opportunity for people that want to volunteer and help their fellow man. We provide that space here, and that's what the American Legion is all about, is providing for veterans and their communities.
Current and former members of the military are welcome to join the American Legion, as well as make a donation on the Legion's website. We posted that donation link to our website, news8000.com. And in other food-related news, North Presbyterian Church had their annual Seven Rivers Community Holiday Dinner yesterday. Over 100 dinners were served on Christmas Day free of charge as Northside residents got to enjoy spending some time together. The meal also included a visit from Santa himself as he helped spread some holiday cheer and donated some gifts to area children in need. According to the organizers, they hope that there will be plenty more holiday dinners in the future.
We just enjoy the fact that we get to spend the holidays with other people, and we want people to come down here and spend it with us.
Get a final check now on your out-the-door forecast for the rest of the morning. Looking at a few clouds out there, temperatures into the single digits. We start to kind of fluctuate between partly to mostly cloudy late this morning into the early afternoon hours. And some spots may look a little cloudier than others, especially across our central zones. Temperatures into the teens today, making it very cold once again to start the work week. But the good news, though, Ken, is that after that, it's going to get much warmer here this week.
For that one. I also can't wait for this reveal. There it is.
Oh, ooh, man, this hurts. I got to tell you.
Okay, so obviously rocking the Chiefs head for sure. We've got some Packer tailgating overalls, courtesy of Duluth Trading Company.
I've never wore anything like this in my life, and but hey, at least I get to wear the Chiefs, and I think it's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I've always seen Packers fans show this off so much.
Yeah,
the Chiefs head. It's a staple, and now I finally get to wear it. Now, am I happy about it? No, not really, but hey, a bet is a bet. I lost because my Dolphins, of course, let me down almost every year, no matter what we do. Ken, what is wrong with my team? We did so well this year, and December hits, and it's like, same old Dolphins.
You know what? I felt almost weird for being confident heading into the game because the Packers offense has been fairly lackluster compared to previous years, but lo and behold, Tua, I don't know if there were miscommunications with a couple receivers, but 3 consecutive drives throwing rough interceptions like that.
Well, now we know why they call him Tua turn the ball over.
That was
I get it
wild on social media.
Let's hope he improves.
Good, though. It looks pretty good.
I'm not giving up on Tua. I'm just saying, I still have faith.
Maybe both our teams can still make the playoffs. And then we'll still be happy in January.
I think all we have to do is beat New England.
Yeah.
And then maybe the Jets lose to Seattle.
Doable.
And we clinch that way.
Beautiful.
Or just win out, Dolphins. Just win. That's all I'm asking.
Thanks to Derek for being a good sport.
Look what